Previously on the Cactus Atlas, it was the big day where we drive into Glacier National Park boundaries and film all the campgrounds, one of the primary goals of this road trip. Having squashed that goal, we now have a full day to take in the Going to the Sun Road. I'm here at my campsite, site B68 on the B Loop in Apgar campground right near Lake McDonald in West Glacier. Inside the national park, and it's here that we kind of get things started today. I know last week's episode, I indicated my plan was going to be to get up early and get into the park before the timed entry system started. So I think that would either be 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. Early. And I decided that I'd changed my plan for the day. We're still gonna go do all of that stuff that I had planned on doing, but I'm taking a different approach. So I woke up and I decided not to go, and decided to kind of just hang back here in the campground and attend to some business first, as opposed to the other way around where I do my filming and then come back at night and back up clips and all my chores and stuff. Going east, we'd be going in an easterly direction if I went on the Going to the Sun Road scenic drive, if you're familiar with the park. And if I got up during sunrise, there's a risk of the sun being in our face the whole time and not really being the best for filming. Although I imagine in there, with as tall as those mountains are, it probably would have blocked a lot of that out. But I was worried about that. And I thought if in the afternoon and I'm going that way, the sun should always be behind me and hopefully illuminate it better. I could be wrong, but that's just my theory. And then number two, I talked to a ranger, and at 3 o'clock, earlier than I thought, that's when the entry system stops. So at 3 o'clock, anybody can go in there. And the guy was like, yeah, because the sun sets at 9 or after 9. And if you include civil twilight in that, it's probably approaching 10 o'clock at night before it's pitch black. So the guy's like, dude, you have 6 hours easily to do everything you want to do, basically. So go in at 3. And he says a lot of people are already done at that point. So I drove through there yesterday. If you saw last week's episode, you saw some of it. And the crowds were pretty insane. All of the spots, a lot of the pull-offs were full. So even though if I went early, I thought I'd beat that stuff, going at 3 seems to have a good chance of that also. So there's a strategy to it. It wasn't that I wasn't prepared to do it or didn't want to do it. I just added everything up, and that's where I netted out. So I just drove a slim into like the Columbia Falls Whitefish area, went to the grocery store, restocked. Had to get some air in my tires. Coming from Phoenix up to these elevations, I always lose some PSI, so I tended to my truck and then just ran some errands that I had to run. And I'm all good now, it's all done. And I think what I'm gonna do next is actually finish backing up all the clips that I didn't finish up. I'm close, get that done and shower. And then after I get all that done, we'll resume hanging out in Glacier today. That's really the plan. Maybe we'll putz around this area for a bit before we actually drive on the scenic drive and see the real like Glacier, the part of the park I think that most people would think about. I drove through it yesterday and mind blown. So I want to spend some time getting some more footage and hanging out. But it's going to be super casual today, just a hangout session. So if you come here with that mentality, you're in the right place. If you're looking for an education or something high budget, go find somebody else. You ain't gonna get that here. Alrighty, it's about 3 o'clock. You know what that means? It's timed entry has expired and we can actually drive into Glacier without a reservation. All right, guys, Going to the Sun Road. We are here and we're now going in reverse and we're gonna check out Glacier National Park in its full beauty. And this time we're taking our time. I'm not blowing through like I did on the last episode. There's Lake McDonald off to the left. We saw that, I think, at the end of yesterday's episode. I was on the shores down there. That's spectacular down there. Everything here is spectacular, to be honest with you. And I'm happy I got my shower done. So I went and there was a wait. There were 3 showers in that campground, and there were 3 people in them, but like one of the people finished like right when I was kind of walking up, so I really didn't have to wait. So if you want a tip, if you're camping, you want to avoid the long lines for the showers at the end of the day, plan a day at the campground So you're there like midday, late morning, and that's usually when I find it to be maybe the most vacant. It's before new people have checked in, but everybody else has checked out or went about their business for the day. So the place becomes kind of a ghost town. And that's when I do a lot of my Campvue business, is to just get the campground in its emptiest so I can get a lot of sites. I prefer vacant sites, basically. But all right, let's stop talking about all that Campvue stuff for now. We're gonna do this. The only thing I have a problem with, I think I got some soap in my eyes, so my eyes are a little burning, but that's okay. This part's not going to be particularly interesting. It's all just woods. So I'm going to wait till we start the ascent. And that is where things get downright kooky and awesome. That actually looked like it would have been a good stop. There's a lot of obscured trees obscuring the view to see the lake, but we explored the lake a little bit yesterday, so I'm going to skip that. If you want to see what it's like, it's near the end of last week's episode, or what should have been last week's episode if we go in sequence. It was really weird yesterday. I'm thinking back on yesterday and the whole, I was rushing because I wanted to get to every campground. And by the way, I filmed every campground that was open. The only one that was not open this whole year, I think, is Mini Glacier Campground, which is a really big one in a different section of the park. But every other one I was able to get to, and I documented it for Campvue. Do a plug here. It's a YouTube channel. It's spelled Campvue. It's a YouTube channel, but more importantly, it's also an app, and you could load it on your phone, your desktop browser, your iPad, whatever, at Campvue, campvue.com. And if you're ever planning a trip here, what I have is a tool where you can actually get to see I go through each campground and I film every site, and I have a side view where you actually can see in video that, and if you use the app, you can even favorite sites, like save preferences down to individual sites, and write reviews on sites and read other people's reviews. So head on over to campvue.com and be sure to check that out if you like camping. And I think you'll like what you see. I know I like it. So yes, getting all of those captured was I would say that was my highest priority of the entire trip, were the Glacier National Park campgrounds, because it's the furthest away from where I live. It's hard for me to get here. Probably won't have many opportunities in the future to do this, kind of thing for a while. So this one was huge, and I've backed up every campground drive-through I've done to date. I've made copies. I actually have 3 copies at the moment across 3 different storage media. But so I've backed it up with some redundancy. That's how serious I am about this. It's that good. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about Campvue. A break in the trees ahead reveals a large mountain, and I was predicting a reveal, but I don't know if a reveal we shall have yet. I might be a little premature. I'm just trying to capture a moment if I can. If not, no big deal. But what I will say is my impressions of yesterday of this place, what you're gonna see today, video won't convey the actual scale. I'm gonna try my best with different camera lenses to get you that scale. But I can tell you, honestly, in my entire life, I have never seen a more dramatic landscape than what I hoped we're gonna get to see today. It is mind-blowingly huge. The mountains are huge. What you have to understand about how these mountains formed are by glaciers. So, and even in measurements of thousands of years, according to the pamphlet, the ice basically sat on the mountains and gravity pulled it downwards, and it carved the mountains. And the mountains are really pointy. You'll see almost sometimes they look like pyramids to me. And that's all done through glacial action. So that's part of, I think, of why the drama and such the steep sides to these giant mountains. And another interesting thing I read is that, I knew this was part of the Rocky Mountains. The Rocky Mountains. We think of Colorado a lot with the Rocky Mountains. I think this is the thinnest band of the Rocky Mountains, but boy, is it I mean, holy crap. And I believe another like factoid that I read, I think the natives or the indigenous people referred to this as like the backbone of the world or something like that, if not that. And it makes sense when you really think about it and see it and think of the relative strip of mountains. And we saw in the Flathead National Forest, we were on the western side, so these things are abrupt, and I drove all the way around them. So it does feel not as wide as some mountain ranges you might have traversed on highway or on foot or whatever. So, but boy, they also, not only is it thin though, it is tall. Tall. I think this is where we're gonna start the actual ascent. We probably have been going uphill, but I think this is where it starts to get pretty real. This Red Rock area looks really pretty, by the way. I see a lot of people swimming and stuff down there. It looks like a good swimming area on a river. But here we go. Okay, yeah, it seems like we're gonna open up. I think I remember from yesterday on the return, or on the way, this other way, that this part was near where you came down out of that crazy steep part that we're gonna go up. Yeah, the mountains didn't get any smaller since yesterday. In fact, one thing I can tell you coming this way, because coming from the other way, you're just going downhill, so you don't really see what we're looking straight into now. So I think there's definitely benefits of both directions, but this one is like these, I don't know, it's like you're driving, it's just inconceivable how we're gonna get up there, basically, seeing it from this side. Whereas on the other side, my remembrance, it's a little bit more gradual going up for some reason. Maybe I'm wrong, or I don't remember it correctly. But this just seems like boom. And it's like you're getting teases of it between the trees, which makes it exciting because you see it, then you have to ponder it, especially if you know we're going up it. If you didn't know you were going to go up it, now you do. It's just crazy. We're climbing so fast, but I don't have the words really to describe what I see. I just hope that today I can capture some of the scale. But we're getting now to the point where the pullouts will be on my side, so that makes it easier, because I'm ready to pull over and show you guys what I see. You can see everybody else is slowing down now because of what they see, and I think everybody wants to take their time. I'm gonna pull over. Well, I can't fit there, unfortunately. That's a really small pullout too. I don't think I'd wanna even do that if that guy wasn't there. But can you see the drama? Can you taste the drama? I mean, I just got to keep rolling the camera, people. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I think you can understand why. And as soon as I get one of these, like, opportunities to pull over and it's big enough, I will. But those are really small spots. I don't think it's good for a pickup truck. For a small passenger car, yeah. Unless there's nobody there, then I think I could, but that's okay, because I think this is, driving this anyway, this is one of those times where I think I could probably do an entire episode in the truck. That was a little hairy. And yeah, we'd be fine just sitting here and chilling in the truck, I think. You know, I turned off the AC again. I'm hoping, what is the temperature out there? Let's see, that might be a good way to do it. 86, that's quite warm. Whoa, dude, you gotta stay. These passenger, or those shuttles are coming into my lane. But man, oh man, you can see, can you guys see the road? Like a line cutting through that? There's a pass over there, I assume Logan Pass probably. And that's really our destination, is at the top of the mountains. We got something going on here to make people slow down. Let's try this actually. All right, it's quite windy. Got to hold on to your hats here. But I imagine that might be a glacier, and there's a waterfall coming from it, so it's probably the melt from that. What do you guys think? Does anybody out there know if that is officially a glacier? So yeah, you can totally see the road just cutting up that way, and that's where we're going. Man, this is nuts. We are ready to go at the first opportunity we can here. So let's continue this journey. So now, hopefully, getting on foot, you see more of what I'm talking about. I think the GoPro is probably doing a fine job, but I mean, I can't even see out the windshield like when I want to look up sometimes, like the mountains are so tall around here. It's crazy. We'll definitely look for some other really good spots. I think, you know, I think it's gonna get better. There's a waterfall. Oh, that's a really nice view of that. I didn't think you got that view coming down, because see, it's kind of behind you by the time you would see it. But one benefit of driving this way, I guess, is you get a view of that. Man, that's so spectacular. I imagine that could be a lot more raging at different times of the year too. All right, we continue the ascent into heaven, or to Logan's Pass. Let's see what the temperature is now. 79, so it did drop a few degrees actually. I'm waiting, I can't turn the fan on more, or else the microphone picks up the noise. It might even pick up some of it when I have it all the way down. But it's a hot job being on the Cactus Atlas, because that's one thing I never tell you, is I don't run the AC while I'm recording, or else you'll hear a lot of extra noise. So this is probably a similar view to what we had, although there's an interpretive sign there. It probably talks about if that's a glacier or not, but I have to use the little boys' room. I gotta pee, so I need to get to the Logan's Pass to use Logan's restroom. And let's hope Logan's parking lot is not Logan full, like it was yesterday. It actually has been quite, I think it's been airy. I don't think it doesn't feel as busy as it did yesterday during prime hours, for sure. And it's probably part of it because everybody tends to probably go from west to east, I'm gonna guess. So, or as opposed to what I did yesterday. There's a scene for you. Look at that waterfall. Look at that, it's coming out that tunnel. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. That is so cool. I'm sure it's cold too. Nice and cool. It's what they make Busch beer from, I think. I think that's the actual source, is it not? It is Haystack Creek. Stay in your lanes, please. You make me nervous, some of yous. All right, look at this. It's like, I feel like if you just kept driving straight, you would be going boop. Man, coming back will be fun too. I think we'll catch some more footage than maybe I did yesterday. Yesterday was probably more as I was driving, complaining about people's speed and stuff, the fluctuations and slowness, because I was anxious to get to all the campgrounds. So I was on a mission. But look at that. Honestly, I'm wondering if this is the right way to do it, actually, the GoPro on the roof like I've got it. That might be just I won't know till I review the footage, but I have a good feeling about this methodology here. Yeah, this kind of stuff makes me giddy. Like, I think I kind of want to finish the drive up, is my latest thought. That way I can tinkle, do what I got to do. Maybe get a snack in me. I'm hungry all of a sudden. And then we'll hang out at Logan's Pass, and on the way down, because that view back there is definitely a must stop, I would say. But we'll just kind of enjoy the drive up. We're getting there anyway. And then we will, on the way back down, make a couple extra stops. Sound good to you? We're making really good progress though, I think. We're getting there. It's a long drive up, don't you kid yourself. But that straightaway there is, I think, kind of like the home stretch. I bet you that's a couple miles though. Maybe 3 or 4, I don't even know. But like once we get over there, there's probably less switchbacks and stuff. And it's good that I stopped, actually, I think, because all the 3 o'clockers continued. Maybe one of these stops will have a restroom at it too. That would be another option. But can the camera even see like what I see up there? It probably does. You can see there's some snow and ice down there too. I might actually want to go check that out really quick if there's some parking spots. It looks like there's parking spots from way over here, but it's like I need a magnifying glass. They're so far away. I saw this yesterday when I was driving, so I was like, what is that? I was like, oh, it's either ice or snow, or probably ice. I would assume those are not considered glaciers though. And why there is the question. That's the only patch of snow or ice that I've seen, bar none. I guess there's lots of parking here. And there's restrooms! Oh yeah. That is what I'm talking about. Restrooms and ice, baby. There's lots of parking here now. This place was a madhouse yesterday. And you got awesome views to go with it. I think this is the proper use of OMG, is it not? Holy moly. This is wacko insane cool. You can actually see the road. We came up and the breeze is so much cooler each twist and turn, it drops. I bet it's like 5 degrees cooler than before. And then up there, you gotta look up and down here. I ain't kidding either. Let's go test out that white patch of snow. Gotta cross carefully too. We'll validate that it's actually ice and not styrofoam. We're scientists here on the Cactus Atlas. As I approach it, the air gets cooler. That's a fact. That is weird. Look at that, that is ice. I wonder if this qualifies as, is it a former glacier? Probably not up the roads here, but maybe kind of illustrates the idea of what they are. Basically, I think glaciers are pretty permanent. Usually they're melting away, but they sit on the landscape and just year after year, gravity pulls them down and they just drag against the landscape and form all those like jagged peaks and stuff that you see. Just think of huge chunks of that pulling the mountain down and carving the actual rock over thousands of years. Let's feel this for consistency. Okay, this is like the consistency of snow. And down here is like, it's like slush now. But I bet inside it's like solid ice. And it's lasted. I wonder if that's from the June snow I hear they got up here, or just the remnants of winter that fully haven't melted. And I wouldn't be surprised by late August, this whole thing is probably gonna go based on how hot it's up, been. We'll get a selfie with the ice. We'll pretend that I'm on a glacier, even though I don't think I officially am. Whew, it feels good on my hand. It's nice and cool. Probably pack a nice snowball from that too. I know maybe people think I'm crazy for admiring this, but remember where I'm from. I'm from the Sonoran Desert of Phoenix, so this is as novel as it gets for me. And then back over this way, we'll set our sights. All right, let's get one last look down at that valley. I mean, that's as beautiful as it gets, although it's probably gonna get more beautiful the higher up we go. We're not even there yet. That was a little hairy there. All right. We are back on track, heading to the top of the mountain, man. That was an amazing stop. Like I don't know what that was called, but I'd recommend it. And the restrooms were pretty cool too. They're just vault toilets, but the most stinkless vault toilets in existence. I don't know the magic, it's that mountain air, I guess. And whatever they did for the ventilation and that thing is, everybody should do it. So hopefully you're impressed so far, especially maybe those of you who didn't really know much about this park, as I did not. I just knew there were big mountains with glaciers on them. That's all I knew about it. I mean, I saw pictures before, but I just didn't know. And maybe if you have been here, maybe I'm giving you good memories. Either way, it's a win, I hope. There's one of those shuttles, and what I think I was calling the final approach earlier, or we're probably on what I was referring to as the final approach already, but this bend was not evident. I think there's more switchbacks anyway. They're just hard to see from a distance. I thought it was like a straight line up, but I was mistaken, I believe. Yeah, I can't wait to review the footage. I hope everything comes out the way I'm thinking it will. I like seeing like the other cars, like right from this angle here, you could see like where we're gonna drive on that bridge, basically. You don't know it's a bridge coming down, but when you see it from this side, you do. I can't rightly say, you know, to be honest with you, driving the other direction and driving up are two completely different experiences, both 100% worth doing, which we're gonna have to get back to the campground. So, but if you come here and you're gonna just pass through one way, you're gonna be happy. You're not gonna miss out like too much. But if you have cause to turn around and go all the way back, I think you'll enjoy what it's like on the downward. And if you want to see more of that, I pretty much filmed a lot of, not all of it, but a good amount coming back down yesterday. So I may not like rehash that on this video when we're done. We'll have to see. Or I might actually try it with, I was trying to think of my side view camera idea, but now I'm like, man, it would have been better to do it now facing right while I'm on this side. So, and now it's a little too late really to do it. But on the way back, I'll be on the other side. You know, I could have it on the left. Still might be pretty nice and cool to see, but man, you can see like we're really climbing up. It's like a lot more snowpack or glaciers, perhaps. If I go to the visitor center, that's what I'm going to ask them. Is like, which of these are glaciers, if any? I haven't yet seen any literature on explaining the science behind that, like at the point at which it's a glacier and the point at which it is not, and how to discern. Or if you can't even discern, if there's a different technique you would need to measure. At times I feel like I'm in the game Skyrim, for those of you that play video games and know what I'm talking about. This might be the closest thing to that experience. And if there was more snow on the mountains here, I bet you it would really have that feeling. Okay, so we are, I think we're pretty close. I think we're gonna go around that really sharp. It's cool that I can just talk about it and you should be able to see it as we turn in a corner, but that switchback. And somewhere up there, I think we're at the top of that Logan Pass. And that's where I'm hoping we can actually find parking. Go into the visitor center maybe, and I will try to find the answer to that question. Oh man, that view that I see out the side now is just, I think I really missed an opportunity there to set the camera up on the right. Gosh dang it. Dang it. Oh well. I don't have time to go back and redo it all at this point. But I know for the future. It might be a recommendation for you if you're gonna come here and have like magnetic mounts for your GoPro. Logan Pass Visitor Center, 1/2 mile ahead. This is a really popular spot right there. Hopefully it's not a foreshadowing of not being able to find parking up here. I love how in the summer here too, it's just like the grass is so green. It's the most vibrant greens that I've seen in a long time. And see, we're not done. Like once you get up here, there's a whole other side to this. And we're at 4:30, so I don't know. We'll see what the options are here at Logan Pass, and that might determine if we push on a little bit more or not. It says Logan Pass parking lot full, expect parking delays, but how often do they really update that? I'm afraid though to pull into parking lots like that, because then you can get stuck in a line where you really just want to leave. But it's here. Oh my gosh. Oh God. It looks bad, but we'll try. All right, we're not doing this, I decided. There were a couple spots, but there's one like group of guys like tailgating like in the parking lot, so pulling the truck in without running over one of them was worrying. And then another spot came up and the person actually gave it to me. They said, go ahead and get in there, but there's a truck parked in the spot next to it that was like encroaching on the spot that I had to pull in. So because of that guy's parking job, I abandoned that. I'm like, no, you know what, right now, well, let's just do this instead. Let's not worry about Logan's Pass at all. And then let's get like to drive down this side. So I think, so Logan's Pass, where I wanted to park, is up there. You can maybe see the glimmer of cars. But this side's spectacular. There, you can't really notice from the car, but there's waterfalls galore out here. I'll show you, I'll zoom in with my other camera to get some footage that we can overlay while I talk, but my goodness, this is a view. Look at that. Should be the last one, and we're good. Got another tunnel here to go through, so I got to get that on film. You know me. We're at around 6,800. I'd say 6,700 feet, or 6,500 feet. I'd say the lines are 6,800 and 6,000 feet, and it's kind of towards the middle-ish. But I love me a good tunnel. I already said that once. Because when you come out, it's like, bam, check that out. There's a little waterfall that I've seen. I remember that from yesterday. People will stand underneath it and get nice and wet to cool off. You wouldn't think it would be that hot out here, but up here it's nice and cool with a breeze, but down at the bottom is kind of muggy and, you know, in the mid 80s or something like that. So it's hot. Especially if you're not used to humidity like me. I think I know the point that I want to go to. There's a really large lake, I forget the name of the lake, or the body of water, on this other side. And I think there are some really scenic views looking down eastward over it. I don't see anything on my map yet. I'm not zoomed out, or I'm pretty much zoomed in. I don't know to what degree, but I don't see it on the map yet showing up. Once again, I'm using Onyx Off-Road. Actually, for a national park and just navigating around, I actually prefer this because of their offline maps and all of their capabilities over Google Maps, to be 100% honest. Usually I use it for off-roading, but I use it for like that, and I definitely use it to understand who owns what land. Like, is it BLM land? Is it county land? Is it this land or that land? So I really, as a certified drone pilot, I want to make sure, A, that my sectional charts say I could fly somewhere, but B, I know who owns the land and what their policies are, because everybody's got different policies. The first word is Saint. It's like scrolling down. I bet you had St. Mary Lake if I had to guess. That would make sense. There's some really good views here, though. Like, you're going to lose view of it for a minute, but... Yep, St. Mary Lake. Another reason why I like Onyx, it makes it very clear like what the features are, even names of mountains. So as I'm driving, I could be like, oh, it's such and such mountain. You're like, gosh, this guy is so knowledgeable. How does he know? But it's because it's on my display here. I was doing that yesterday, driving or a couple days ago in Montana, well, we are in Montana, but driving some of the back roads out in the national forest. I was like, oh, look, it's Link Mountain and Whitefish Mountain, trying to sound all smart. Now you know my secret. I do think, though, we're coming close to the end of this portion, I think, of the drive, our exploration. My only regret with all of this is that on these trips that I'm doing, I'm really moving fast and furious because I have a lot of ground to cover, because I need to get a lot of Campvue campgrounds to make this whole thing justifiable, to celebrate the app that I said I wouldn't talk about anymore on this episode, and I won't. But so like I'm only here for 2 days, and I think I would love to hike. There's so many hikes that I would like to do, even that I think I could do now in my condition. But time ain't on my side, so all I had really time to do is what we're doing today. It's a long, beautiful lake. I guess in this is so bad, like these trees, I feel so bad, like I don't know what caused it, but I guess the benefit is you can see the lake. If the trees were there and lush, you wouldn't be able to see anything, I don't think. I'm gonna stop here. I don't mean to bother this person, but I think this might be our vantage point that I've been looking for, and this might be our turnaround point also. We will see. Man, it's pretty hazy because of the humidity, I think, but this view here, I think right here is where you want to go. I was having a nice conversation with a lady that was there. She was from Flagstaff, Arizona originally, so she saw my license plate and we had a good convo. But look at Lake Mary. Lake Mary, Lake Mary, Lake Mary. There's even like an island out there. And you got giant mountains and giant lakes. And the water is like such an aqua blue in places. It's probably crystal clear. I would love to go like diving in there with like snorkels. I actually have a wetsuit and a mask, flippers, and snorkel in the truck that I might use later down in Grand Teton, but we'll see. I should have thought about using it here, but there ain't no time. I think this is a worthy view here. I think I want to go further and capture it all, but I think what we're gonna do is turn around. I'm gonna just go back to the campground. I'm not gonna film. I'm gonna make a concerted effort not to film anything, to encourage you if you missed it. Last week's episode, I actually start in the Flathead National Forest west of Glacier, so the side we came from, basically this way, camping right off the North Fork of the Flathead River, literally in the back of my campsite. So we drove like the main route outside of the park all the way to Medicine, which is gonna be south of here. Came up to St. Mary, we filmed all the campgrounds, and then started the Going to Sun route from east to west. So we basically drove all of this yesterday, going this way, the way I'm about to go back again. And I recorded a pretty good portion of it, but the video wasn't so much about Glacier like I'm doing today and taking my time. It was jumping from campground to campground to film them all, and you gotta get behind the scenes of it. However, we're traveling in that direction. So if you wanna see that direction, I'm encouraging you to watch that other video, hence why I'm not gonna film it again, so I can entice you to go check it out, because this video blew your mind, right? All right, we've made it back to where the checkpoint would be, and I'm like pretty much right around the corner from my campsite. I'm ready to eat some dinner, I'd say. I think I'm gonna be making hot dogs tonight. After that, I think that's the only appropriate thing, wouldn't you agree? I've been eating so healthy, and now tonight I'm gonna eat poorly, I guess. But I wanna take you home with me here. Take you all the way in. We started here, we're gonna end here at the campsite, the home, my home for the night and last night at Apgar Campground. Welcome to Apgar Campground, everybody. It's beautiful this time of the day in these woods too, just the lighting, the sun shining through the trees, but mainly shade. Still have about 3 hours of sunlight though, so that was about a 3-hour tour, by the way, that we just did. Left about 3 o'clock at 6:19, so we did. I think that's perfect. I spent half of the daylight with you guys, and I'm gonna spend half the other night eating hot dogs, maybe with you guys too. We're not 100% done yet, but we're getting there. Well, that was satisfying. I actually did exactly what I wanted. And I feel like I got my money's worth, or my national parks pass is, well, I paid for that a long time ago, but yeah, I think now the order of business is I'm gonna make some dinner, eat, and then I only have today's clips to back up actually, so if I can maintain that pace and back up every day, I shouldn't get backlogged, and it should be a pretty decent endeavor, maybe an hour before bedtime, lay in the tent and chillax and back up clips. So does anybody know if avocado on a hot dog works? It's probably going to tonight, because I really need to use up what I got. They're dangerously close to needing to be thrown away, I think. So I'm gonna try one hot dog with avocado. That sounds weird, but it doesn't sound so weird at the same time. And I guess I get some added nutrition with the hot dog. So, and considering that I still don't have my full taste faculties back after radiation treatment for cancer, I mean, even if it doesn't taste that good, I won't know. I did put, I was able to do surgery on the avocados. They were in bad shape, so I got what I could off of it. It's inside the bun, kind of underneath the hot dog. This one will get mustard on it, because mustard's good on them. I'm gonna try this avocado dog. I wouldn't blame you if you turned your nose up at this, It's just kind of weird, but not bad though. The hot dog overpowers anything else. Everything's put away tidy and ready for the morrow. So basically, really I got very little left to do today. I had some time to kill after getting everything done, so I decided to drive up back the way we came to a place called Sprague Creek, where there's a campground that I filmed for Campvue right over there, and this is a public picnic area, so I think it's just first come first serve. You just pull up here and there's no overnight parking over here, and you just find a beautiful spot. There's an example of one. They're all like kind of hidden away like that. And then there's lake access over here. So I'm gonna go check out like what this looks like, and who knows, maybe I'll even grab my fishing pole if it looks promising enough. This is a beautiful time of day, and the trees here, the lighting is just perfect. But I think when we get out here on the beach, the sun's gonna be like boom. This is a nice little beach. This would be a great beach for swimming. I once again maintain I don't think I'm gonna catch any fish here. This is really shallow. I could see the bottom quite a ways out, and the wind's blowing right in my face, so, and they don't want you to use split shot here, I don't think. I was reading the regulations, so I can't really, the lures that I have casting into the wind, I'm not gonna get them, but over like here. So I think I'm gonna skip the fishing but we can enjoy the views regardless here at the top of Lake McDonald. I did confirm for sure you're gonna find lake trout here, but my studies of lake trout, once again, are they like the deep water. So that's why I'm just thinking there's not much point. Although the wind just calmed down, that makes it a little bit better, but it's gonna start up again any second. And then the going to the sun road that we did is kind of right out here, and we drove that way earlier. And now, like, you can see the people going back towards where I'm staying. It's just so calm and beautiful. And it is easy, even in the prime time of the year, in the afternoon, to find seclusion in this park, no problem. You just have to keep an eye out. Each stop might have cars, some don't. But the later it gets, I mean, there's still lots of daylight left, so I'm curious though if I can see the village, I guess, the Apgar village from all the way up here. And that'll give you a sense of where I drove to from the campground, because the campground's right behind it. Oh, there's a lot more beach than I thought. I thought it would end like right here, but you know, I did have to drive for a while to get up here, maybe 15 minutes or so. So I came a long way. I don't think I can see the village. I'm gonna guess it's there-ish, but I see something very faint that might be buildings, but that's the approximate location, I believe, of where I'm camping, is way at the other end over there. I genuinely mean it when there honestly has not been a single place on my journey that by the time I was done, I was sad to leave. Every single location on this road trip has been magical for me and a really good part of my journey. And I can't wait to see what the next weeks hold as we continue our trip. We're almost 1/3 of the way through, I believe. Something like that. I think my wife said something like this upcoming Sunday is probably the halfway point. I can't believe it though. Time is going by so fast. But I think I found the things that I was looking for on this trip. Well, friends, that's gonna conclude another day here on what I'm now calling the 2025 Campvue Northern Run. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this brought some happiness and peace into your life, and then we'll see you next week. Bye.